How are you?
I'll bump fist you. Letty's down for the count. I tested negative, but I'm just being safe.
Yes, I heard that we've got a situation.
Yes.
How was your summer? Sorry.
Go this way. Ashley,
Good.
can we confirm?
Yeah. How about you? Were you abroad?
I was abroad the whole time. It was good, but I'm glad to be back.
You mean for school or just to be back in a rhythm of life?
A little more the latter, I suppose. But
Yeah.
also, like Reed, there is an energy that comes from all this, and they're a nice bunch.
Yeah. This and graduation, the two bookends are full of optimism, and it's a grudge for me.
We need to add, I think, save my seat.
Sure.
Jared, which row are you in? We need to add seats. We still got Leslie and Jeff.
Maybe you'll be right. That's wrong. It's better when you're wrong. And I'll be wrong.
I would say something. Some students. I wouldn't say 60. Jeffrey.
Oh, okay.
I'm telling you where to go because
Because you like running like traffic.
because I thought Leslie was going to come down here with you, but she didn't. So now I'm going to I'm over there. I'm between Omar and J Moose. You might be. I'm not I'm going to go get Larry.
I get better. I'm not sure they're motivated, but I know that they're because they have jobs.
Good evening. My name is Michael Hunter Schwartz, and I'm the Dean of the Law School, and we are so thrilled to have you here. Bienvenidos, shalom, ala wasalan, yo koso, jambo, sincho. Welcome. Before we get any further, I would like us to recognize that we work on indigenous land. We acknowledge and pay our respects to the Patwin, Nisenan, and Miwok tribes and all the other American Indian and other indigenous peoples and communities who have become a part of these lands and territories in California here in the greater Sacramento region. I also want to acknowledge all the family and friends viewing the program in classrooms A and B and over the live stream. So here's an overview of the program. I will make a few personal remarks and introduce the McGeorge leadership and recruitment teams. Alumni Association Board of Directors member Ashley Silva Guzman will speak on behalf of the McGeorge Alumni Association. Then Associate Dean Mary Beth Moylan will introduce you to our faculty. And then finally, the Honorable Consuelo M. Callahan will administer the Oath of Professionalism and conduct the pinning ceremony. So I want to just take a moment to explain the ceremony. If you sort of think, if you were going to medical school or dental school or any other sort of health program, you would be introduced to the start of your professional experience by putting on a white coat. And so for lawyers, this is our equivalent. You do an oath of professionalism, and you put a McGeorge pin on your lapel, dress, shirt, whatever it is that you wish to put it on. Also, many of you may not know that in addition to our JD students, our incoming class is made up of LLM students, international exchange students, MSL students, MPA students, and MPP students. McGeorge is as rich in diversity of programs as we are rich in diversity of students. So here are my personal remarks. My goal in delivering my remarks is to suggest an approach that you might take in participating in the oath process. I'm suggesting this because even if you do not realize it yet, you represent the concept of a legal professional from this moment forward. To make my point, I'm going to share 2 quotes and I'm going to make 2 recommendations. The first comes from a fairly well-known novel, Remains of the Day, written by Kazuo Ishiguro. As some of you may be aware, the novel was ultimately made into a movie. In the book, a character responds to the suggestion that he act with professionalism by saying, professionalism appears to mean getting one's way by cheating and manipulating. It appears to mean serving the dictates of greed and advantage rather than those of goodness and the desire to see justice prevail in the world. If that is the professionalism you refer to, sir, I don't care much for it and have no wish to acquire it. And you could treat today's oath as a mere task. While the character in the book nowhere mentions legal professionals, I do fear that he was. And if you approach this as just another task to get through, as a matter of checking a box required by the law school, you will be adding a little brick to the perception of legal professionals. And I do want to clarify that the author is wrong if he's talking about legal professionals. Everything I have read or seen indicates that the people who hold the degrees to which you aspire donate more time for free than any other profession in the world. This is a culture of lawyers, that we give our time, we swear to do it right from the time we enter the profession, and we give it over and over and over again. I believe you have things to be proud of. Here's my second quote. It comes from an author named Tomislav Sola. He wrote, "Professionalism is a little like love. It is made up of the constant flow of little bits of proof that testify to devotion and care." So here are my 2 recommendations for your oath today. All in all, I'd rather have you not aspire to the image of professionalism articulated by the first quote. And then secondly, I'd like you to try to use the oath as your first little bit of proof of your devotion and care for the people you will ultimately be serving. If you make that extra effort to reflect on the words of the oath as Judge Callahan administers it to you, you're offering a teeny bit of proof that you'll be the kind of legal professional who reflects the possibility our oath reflects. In many ways, your mindset as you read the oath is analogous to the acts of professionalism we hope to inspire in you. Real professionalism starts with that mindset, and the activities of professionalism often mostly happen in the professional's mind each and every day. It is my honor to introduce you to many of the people here today that are here to support and celebrate you. First, a very lucky fortune is the university has a new provost, Dr. Gretchen Edwalds-Gilbert. I know that you've met him, but I'm still going to introduce you to the president of our Student Bar Association, Cameron Rogers, and some of the members of the Student Bar Association. I'd like to introduce you in alphabetical order to the management team of the law school. Leah Adams, who's the Assistant Dean of Student Affairs and Career Services. Cassandra Fernandez, who's the Assistant Dean for Advancement. Larry Levine, who's the Associate Dean of Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion and a professor. Kimberly Miller, who's the Director of Fiscal Services. Michael Vitello, the Professor and Associate Dean of Scholarship, who is a Distinguished Professor of Law. So I want to introduce everyone now to the people who brought you here to McGeorge. I will start with our LLM, MSL, International, and I don't think we have JSD students this time. So Clemence Kuchera, the Assistant for Graduate Online International Programs, Adriana Aguena, and Mary Economy. For our public policy programs, Dr. Jeff Michael, the Director of the Public Policy Programs and Professor of Public Policy. And Blah Cheng. And then for our JD program, Valerie James, who has the longest title imaginable, Senior Assistant Dean of Admissions, Financial Aid, and Diversity Initiatives. Kirsten Livingston, our Director of Admissions. For the JD program, I should be saying, Anne Marie Meyer. And Danielle Shipes. Also here, special shout out to Joe Pincus, our Director of Financial Aid. You do need to understand that no other financial aid person in the world is loved that much. It's a weird thing about McGeorge. And I want to also introduce you to the people who've been working diligently in the background, both throughout this entire week of orientation, but also in communicating about McGeorge to you via social media, emails, stories, and the like. So Ashley Gollage, our Director of Marketing and Communications. Victoria Ambrose, and Alex Banks. Dean Moylan will now introduce the faculty. After.
I don't think so.
Okay, we're off to a little slow start. After we hear from our alumni speaker. I should read the full script. Our Alumni Association speaker is Ashley Silva Guzman, a member of the McGeorge Alumni Association Board of Directors and a 2021 alumna currently practicing plaintiff side employment law in Los Angeles. She recently served as SAC Legal's co-chair and was recently appointed to the California Committee of Bar Examiners. So when you're thinking ahead, she's the one who helped make that experience happen. She also sits on the board of the National Disabled Legal Professionals Association, the first identity-based disabled attorney bar association. She is passionate about diversifying the legal field and advocating for change to make that happen. While she was at McGeorge, I got to see a lot of her. She served as president of the Student Bar Association and PLSS. She worked with an excellent team of her peers to propose and help the law school create a scholarship for students who cannot afford to take time off to study for the bar exam. This experience encouraged her to join the alumni board to represent the interests of McGeorge students and graduates. I just want you to know she's a complete joy to work with. Some of my favorite humans who've come through these halls. Ashley, please share your thoughts.
So because I very recently graduated from law school, I haven't learned my lesson and I did not memorize my speech. So if you see me glancing down, that's what that is. I will say that I graduated 2 years ago and it hasn't really felt like I had graduated until right now. So it takes time. But good evening, everyone. As Dean Schwartz mentioned, I'm Ashley Silva Guzman. 5 years ago, I sat in those same chairs you're sitting in today, ready to take my oath and put on my pin. Today, I get to advocate on behalf of clients, I get to work to reform the bar, and I get to push to increase diversity and equity in the profession. The key word is that I get to do all of those things. Practicing law should be seen as a privilege. With this oath, you're all pledging to wield the power of law with humility, recognizing the immense responsibility that accompanies it. You will serve not only your clients, but also the greater public good, standing up for those who cannot stand up for themselves and fighting for justice in all of its forms. I have two tenets that I feel have carried me this far. One is the importance of kindness, or as others like to call it, civility, and I'm sure you'll hear that word quite a bit throughout law school. I find that this is often forgotten in the charge forward, but those sitting here with you today are your colleagues. They'll see you at your best and they'll see you at your worst over the next 3 to 4 years. They will see you in what it requires, and what the practice of law requires is collaboration, compassion, and a deep sense of empathy. The pursuit of justice is not a solitary one. And why I bring that up is because you will all rely on one another in some way or form over the course of your time at McGeorge. Some of those things you'll learn here at McGeorge, either from your professors or from your peers. But don't forget that you're also joining a network of over 14,000 alumni who are just as invested in your career and are not afraid to extend that kindness as well. Do the same for those around you. Rely on one another, help those that are struggling, offer those class notes, simply be there for one another. In that same vein, my second thought is to never forget where you've come from. The law can strip you of your identity until it sometimes feels like all you are is the practice of law. Be more than that. Bring humanity to your practice, and in doing so, take care of yourself and those around you. I grew up first generation, LGBTQ, disabled, Latina in the South Bay of LA. Those identities didn't just leave me because I went to law school, and they shaped the advocacy that I do now. They also make me a better lawyer. I can commiserate with my clients because I am them. I've been in their shoes. So embrace the things that make you, you. Join a club, seek out pro bono opportunities, take up a hobby, and in doing so, prioritize keeping yourself healthy. I'm sure many of you have heard this, but you can't pour from a cup that's already empty. So keep that in mind as you're going through this time. Today marks a pivotal moment in your lives as you gather to take this oath. Take the words to heart because I did, and now I'm living what can only be seen as a dream. I have the privilege to sit on the alumni board with some of the coolest alumni and administrators that I've ever worked with. I have the privilege to help people on a daily basis, and I have the privilege of being here with you all tonight, ushering in a new class of fine practitioners who I hope will carry on the McGeorge legacy. So congratulations to all of you, and I look forward to seeing where you go from here. Thank you.
Please join me in welcoming now for the real time, Associate Dean Mary Beth Moylan.
Am I on? I'm on so I can walk, yes. And maybe dance, we'll see how it goes. Okay, I have the great opportunity to introduce you to the faculty members who are going to be teaching you, learning with you, being your mentors, and shaping you over the next 3 or 4 or 2 or 1 years, depending on which program you are in. And I have to say, I actually like all of these people so much. You've probably gotten a sense of our community over these days of orientation, and that there is a genuine enthusiasm that we have for one another, for all of you, for our jobs, for our mission, really, to deliver to the legal profession people who are trained in the law, thoughtful about the law, and feel like they have support through their whole legal careers. Do I have my slideshow here? Oh, look at me, faculty introductions. Isn't that pretty? Okay, so I'm just gonna roll through so you can see the names of the people who will be teaching in each of the large JD sections, and then also in our LLM program and our MPP and MPA programs. And then I'm gonna introduce them all one by one. So if you're in section A, take a look quickly at these names, and then when you see them come up, you'll be like, oh, yeah, I have that faculty member. Okay, so this is section B. Everybody got it? Section E. Read fast. It's a skill. You're going to need it. Our upper division, JD, and LLM faculty who are with us tonight. Our MPP and MPA faculty. And I'm going to go through in a minute now and introduce each one of them to you. And this is not my idea, okay? I want to preface this with, I asked my students who I was teaching this summer, what would you like to know or see about your faculty? And one of my students had this brilliant idea, and Yuri was in the class when it happened, and he was so smart, right? It was brilliant. And I said, what is good about me is I recognize brilliant ideas in other people. And so I took his idea, and I ran with it. And the thing was, he said, Dean Moylan, everybody wants to know, were they in our shoes once? How did they feel? And I said, yes, they were. They were all here at the beginning of a law school journey. And so I'm going to show you what they looked like then. And I'm going to do it one by one. And it's going to give me pleasure. And the other thing that came out of this is my very good friend, Carrie Bricker, who teaches trial advocacy. Stand up, Carrie Bricker. This is her in the flesh. And this was her when she was in your shoes. Isn't she adorable? And so I want you to really embrace the fact that we have all been there. We have all been where you are. We all were at the beginning of our law school journey, and we are all here now. And you can be on the other end of this, right? And the amazing thing that happened for me, I already loved them. I already was a big fan. I feel very privileged to get to be the liaison between this faculty and the administration and the students. I am privileged to have this role, and I already liked them a lot, but when they started sending me their pictures, they also started telling me stories about their time, and it made me like them even more. So, Melissa Brown, director of our clinics. Stand up, Melissa Brown. Melissa was a redhead. And that's what she told me. I was a redhead, yep. Adrienne Carpenter. There's Adrienne. Oh, she's not here? She was here. Okay, she's not here now. Well, this was Adrienne right after law school when she became a DA. Doesn't she look very DA official? Adelina Coe, professor. Look at that adorable haircut. Adelina Coe is standing here as she was being sworn in as an attorney with 3 justices of the 3rd District Court of Appeal here in Sacramento, all of whom, although they look like they've been there for a while already, are still there. Professor Michael Colatrella, who's going to be teaching Civ Pro, cannot be here tonight. He explained why earlier in the Balancing Life and Law section. But look at this. Whoops, there he is. Right? We're gonna all let him know what that reaction was. Professor George Critchlow is a visiting professor with us here this year. Here he is. He looks pretty good. All right, okay. I have a little, soft spot for this one. This is Professor Dan Croxall. Please stand, Professor Croxall. So So this next picture is how I always think of Professor Croxall, because he was one of my students, and he did do oral argument in this probably very same student. He says I made him cry, but I don't think so.
100%.
Professor Omar Dajani. How cute. Look at that. It's like a baby Professor Dajani. It's kind of like baby Peach. Okay, Professor Estioko, CLS professor. If you can't tell in the C, this is her graduating with her daughter in arms. Yeah. Okay, one of my favorites, I do believe. Professor Gewertz, stand up, sir. Okay. Professor Gewertz will teach you in your upper division classes, and he submitted what is clearly a yearbook photo, yes? Professor Harder is not able to be here with us. She's on sabbatical this semester, but she'll be teaching you in statutes and regulations in the spring. And you're going to have to look hard for her in this picture, but she's right there in the middle. I wish I had a pointer. You can tell, though, for sure. Yeah? Okay, Professor Harrington, bar support, overall wellness. She did your wellness program. So Professor Harrington's also a former student, and what I find super annoying is she looks exactly the same. But like, that was 20 years ago. Like, what's up with the non-aging, right? Okay, Professor Hochbaum also couldn't be here tonight, but he's in our clinics, and look at this lovely photo. Professor Leslie Jacobs, Constitutional Law. Stand up, Professor Jacobs. You look so good. Yes. Okay, absolutely adorable, right? Thank you, Yuri. That's what I say. Professor Charles Kayessian from the MPA program. Very nice, right? Professor Kelso. Professor Kelso is going to be, he'll be one of your professors in the spring for statutes and regulations, and here he is. Professor Curlin from our MPX program. And Professor Curlin told me the beard at the time, very radical, okay? Very radical, so don't be fooled. Now we have Professors Landsberg, both Brian and Dorothy, who teach an elective on voting rights. Professor Brian Landsberg, Emeriti faculty. Professor Dorothy Landsberg in the white dress. Okay, Professor Larry Levine. Do not encourage him. Okay? Because I don't even think I can, there's nothing. There is no lead-in for that. And I chose a discreet one. Professor Malloy. Professor Malloy is distinguished now. He was distinguished then. He was distinguished then, yeah. Professor Manolakis is not, I'm not going to show you her young picture because I don't have one. Her website picture is this one, and she's been with us teaching for 45 years, and this is a picture of her more recently. And she's not here tonight. Professor McCaffrey, who teaches international law. Handsome, right? We can all acknowledge. And look at that. That is totally a That 70s show, right? Like, he could be on it. He probably was, right? Okay. Professor Jeffrey Michael, public policy. And this is very sweet. This is as he's finishing his PhD. He also is having his baby. Professor Morales. So Professor Morales' picture is a little bit blurry, so bear with us. But I will say that when I showed this, I should disclose, Professor Morales and I worked at the same law firm when we were like baby lawyers, yeah. And when I showed this picture to my spouse, he said, yeah, that's what he looks like. And I thought, okay, yeah. Okay, Professor Moose, please arise if you're, or not. Courts for the evening section, and he has captioned this, "Where's my emu?" Oh, this is me. Okay. Whoops, there I am. Yeah, I did picture a nice picture of myself. I mean, what am I going to do? Okay, Professor Nordal is, yes, he is here in our clinic. This is Professor Nordal and his wife. Super cute, right? Okay, Professor Palinelli, MPA program. Look at that, she's graduating, yay. Professor Peterkin. Very dapper, very distinguished. Okay, this is another one. Are you ready? Professor Prosky, please rise. Are you all ready? I have titled this one 80s Heartthrob. Oh, I don't think Professor Rizvani is here. He's also teaching trial advocacy, and look at that. Professor Rudjak. Professor Rudjak looks very serious here, right? Professor Rudjak will be teaching you crim law in the spring, some of you, okay? Very serious. He's a very serious professor. Professor Salcido's on sabbatical this year, is not here, but this was her back in the day. The dean. Stand up, the dean. I was told by Rachel, wherever you are, Rachel, I saw you come in last night, that I am the what? The black cat? I don't even like cats, but I do see I might be more pragmatic and practical and all that. Anyway, here he is in the day. And that is his lovely wife, who you will all also meet at some point, Dr. Stacy Hunter Schwartz. And aren't they cute? They're so cute. Okay. Professor Sprankling, I think, cannot be with us tonight, but he will be also teaching property in the spring to some of you, so take a look at him now, and take a look at him then. All right, Professor Telfian, please rise. Thank you. I'm not sure I would have believed this one if I hadn't seen it, so I'm going to let you all see it now. Right? What? Okay. Professor Thompson, I tried to get a newer picture. Well, they didn't give it to me. Anyway, stand up. So actually, this website picture is also really practically when she was a baby. Oh, look at it.
Good genes.
I know, so cute. Okay. Professor Truden, our Director of Externships. And look at her there. Whoa, glamour shot. Professor Vitello. Are you ready? No. I think let's stop and imagine. What are you expecting? What you're expecting, right? And Professor Wong. Okay, this one's also super cute. Aww. And those are my colleagues. You're going to get a chance to talk to all of them when we go out to the quad for the reception, and you can talk to them about their pictures, have them tell you the stories of when they were those ages and in law school and the experiences they had. They will share with you, they will interact with you. They are here to be your mentors for a long, long time. We are all so glad you're here. I'm thrilled to welcome all of you and all of your families who are in the other room. So thank you all very much.
So I was sitting in the awe side of the room, so I heard a lot of awes. In a moment, I'll be introducing you to the person who will be administering your Oath of Professionalism, Judge Consuelo M. Callahan, one of my favorite humans in the world. Before I do, I wish to draw your attention to that little blue book that you have in front of you. In recognition of the wonderfully varied backgrounds of our entering students and in collaboration with our continuing students, and that's something I'm particularly proud of, that McGeorge, we try to listen to our students and adjust to what great ideas they have. We have translated the oath into 19 languages this year, including English, in addition to English. And this reflects all the languages represented by, among others, all the languages represented by our students, our international LM, and our visiting scholar students. So it's now my chance to introduce Judge Callahan. Judge Consuelo M. Callahan has served as judge of the United States Court of Appeal for the Ninth Circuit for nearly 20 years, nominated by President George W. Bush and unanimously confirmed by the Senate in 2003. She earned her law degree from the McGeorge School of Law in 1975. And started her law career in Stockton as a deputy city attorney. She then became deputy district attorney in San Joaquin County, focusing on child abuse and sexual assault cases. In 1986, she became a commissioner of the Stockton Municipal Court. 6 years later, she was the first Hispanic woman appointed to the San Joaquin County Superior Court. Governor Pete Wilson appointed Callahan to serve on the 3rd District Court of Appeals in Sacramento in 1996. Judge Callahan serves on the boards of the Western University of Health Sciences and the American Inns of Court. She both has served, is on an encore run as a member of the Regents of the University of the Pacific, our parent university. Prior to McGeorge, Judge Callahan earned her bachelor's degree from Stanford University and went on to receive, after her time at McGeorge, a Master of Laws degree from the University of Virginia School of Law. Finally, I really do want you to understand, there is no better supporter of McGeorge and our students in the world. I have not met anyone. Almost every year, I talk to Judge Callahan and she's telling me she's calling this person for one of our students and that person for one of our students to make sure the student gets a job because she met them and now she owns them in her mind. She is so beloved at Pacific that a Pacific Pharmacy alumni family created a scholarship in her name. Judge Callahan just finished teaching freedom of expression in Europe and the United States in McGeorge's study abroad program in Salzburg, Austria. And as I hope you'll notice, she also has the coolest shoes ever. So all that and cool shoes. Please join me in welcoming Judge Callahan.
Thank you. Mary Beth, that was so cool. I loved that. And I actually went to law school with Ed Telfian. And I don't remember you, he dated one of my roommates, and I don't remember you, I never dated him though, but I don't remember you looking exactly like that. But anyway, it's wonderful to be here with you today. And Ashley, just like, I guess I can't believe how long ago it was that I was here, but how quickly the time has passed. And we're very proud of you and all our other students. I wonder, the reason that I'm here today, and your dean talked about that, is because McGeorge gave me so much. McGeorge gave me my life and my career. And I really can't miss an opportunity to be here with the next generation of McGeorge students. And so it's an act of really love to be here with you because I just owe everything to this university for having had a wonderful life and a wonderful career. Now, I know as you sit here today, you're kind of thinking, well, what lies ahead? I would be lying if I told you that I loved law school. I think it's gonna, but there were people that loved it at the time that I was there. But what I will tell you is I have loved every moment of my legal career. And so when you're not feeling the love when you're here, I don't want you to be overly concerned because there's people like myself that have enjoyed all the benefits of my law career, of my law school, and didn't really necessarily enjoy it, but it's been totally worth it. I'm overwhelmed by how beautiful all of you look here. And when commenting on my cool shoes, I'm pleased at how dressed up you are for this august occasion. And as you come into representing other people, you can't just be yourself. And anyone that knows me will say, I have probably an outfit for everything. But you have to have substance as well. But there is an importance in terms of when you represent other people, you don't just get to be what you feel like on that given day, because it's a responsibility. And I tell a story that sometimes people think that maybe it marginalizes the type of lawyer that I was, because I was a really good lawyer. I was a very good trial lawyer. But I finished a trial in a murder case, and it was a very long case. It was a couple months long, and I came back to my office, and the person was convicted, and of course, that was my intention. And there were 3 women that wanted to see me that had been jurors, and they said, they sat down in front of me, then they said they had a question. I just really thought they were gonna tell me how truly awesome I was. And they said, how long a trial do you have to have before you wear the same outfit? And you hear that and you think, well, they just missed how great a lawyer I was for the last 2 months. But what I realized there, they said, we couldn't wait for you to come every day. And we felt like at the end of the trial, they should have rolled the credits and Judge Callahan dressed by. What when you're a lawyer, you want people to pay attention to you. I'm not the tallest person in the room. I may not be a lot of things, but I realized at that moment they wanted to see me, and they were looking at me. They weren't looking at anyone else. They weren't listening to the other lawyer. So you need to decide, what is your je ne sais quoi? But how you appear, people, it's superficial, yes, but that's sometimes all that they get to see at that point. You don't get to talk to the jurors. So think about how you dress, how you appear, how you act, because it does reflect on everyone around you, but people are noticing, and you want to be the person, if you want to be a good lawyer, you want to be the person that they're looking at and that they're listening to. I'm extremely excited for all of you in the days ahead. There's going to be a lot of hard work. There are going to be challenges, and sometimes it's just going to be abject terror. I'm not going to lie to you. You're going to wonder, can I do this? I had a crisis of confidence my first year of law school, but I told myself at the end when I did fine, I wondered, for the first time in my life, I thought, maybe I won't do well. Maybe I'll flunk out. Maybe I won't do well. But when I got my grades and I had done fine with the wonderful support of everyone around me, I said, I will never let anyone do that to me again. I know what I'm doing. I've always figured that out, and I'm not going to let other people make me feel like I can't do something. So don't do what I did. We accepted you because you're wonderful. We accepted you because we know that you're qualified to do this. And as you've seen here, you have so many wonderful people around you that are here to support you in being the best lawyer that you can be and to be successful. People, when they know me now, a lot of times think that, that I'm fearless, because a lot of the things that I've done in my career, being a trial lawyer, being the first in many, and having to be a trailblazer as a woman. There were not a lot of women when I graduated from law school. They think that I'm fearless, but I'm not. I just want you to know that. But I will tell you that I'm brave. I do get scared, just like everyone, but I think that don't let your fear define you, and don't let your fear make you give up. But a little bit of fear is a good thing, because it keeps you from failing, because you don't want to fail, and you're gonna do the work, and we're given fear to make us safe and to make us do what we have to do. So what I'm gonna tell you is you don't have to be fearless, but you do have to be brave. And you can't, when things get difficult, you can't give up. I was a pretty sensitive kid as a little kid. People knowing me now, they don't see that. They think my hide's as thick as a rhino, but it's not really true. I was the type, people hurt my feelings, and I would go running into my house and tell my mother what horrible things had happened to me or what someone had said to hurt my feelings. And she would turn little Connie around, send her back out and say, go deal with it. She made me deal with life, and she made me learn to handle things. So what I'm going to tell you is, when you get afraid and you feel sensitive and you think everyone's picking on you and all of those things, just turn yourself around and go back out and do what you need to do. Every time you face your fears, you get stronger. You should build confidence, and every time you go back out there, the next time you have more confidence. And even when you're going through something that is scary, and I still get scared. Sometimes I get up and I think, oh my gosh, I have to go do this, or I have to go do that, or I have to make this presentation. But I know that I will survive. Death or great bodily injury is not involved, and it's just a situation of get prepared for it, be yourself, and go do what you do, and you will survive. And after that, you will be very proud of yourself. Where your mind goes, the body will follow. And the only easy day, as the Navy SEALs would say, was yesterday. So I'm not going to tell you that it's all going to be easy. I'm not going to tell you that every day is going to be fun, but I am going to tell you that it's so worth it. I could not be happier about the education that I received here, and I could not be happier about how it's played out in my life and the opportunities it has given me to help other people. So congratulations on being here today. I look forward to seeing everything that you're going to do. And we're going to do the oath, and we take oaths in front of other people so we can't go back on them, all right? So there are witnesses. There are lots of witnesses here. And the first day you take an oath, many of you, how many people are married here? All right. Well, you know the first day that you promise everything in your wedding is the easiest day. It's not so easy to take, for better or for worse, and after that. And it's a lot about the same about the oath you're going to take here. We take oaths that I've taken them as a judge, and you take them as an elected officials, all of those things. We take them in front of other people, both because we want witnesses, but also because we engage everyone to support us. Your professors are all here, your dean's here, your families are watching. All of those people, when it's a hard day to live up to your oath, and I'm here witnessing all of you, all right? And all of those days, when it's a hard day and you're thinking, I just can't really do what I said I would do, call one of us. You can do it, you will do it, but we all need support, and we will all be there for you. So, without further ado, I think you should all stand. And raise your right hand and say, I, my name, not my name, your name. As I began my legal studies, I pledge to act with honesty and integrity. I commit to devoting my best efforts to my studies, assignments, and exams. I will meet the expectations of the McGeorge Code of Student Responsibility. I will interact with colleagues, faculty and staff, with professionalism, civility, and grace. I will seek opportunities to benefit my community and will, on every occasion, act in ways that reflect positively on me, my law school, and the legal profession. I make this pledge freely and upon my honor. Congratulations.
You may now be seated and put the pin on your lapel, shirt, dress, blouse, whatever you wish to put it on. Before we close, I'd like to tell you a few tidbits about your peers. I think you'll see quickly why we are so excited about this class. This year's class includes close to 250 students in total, which is roughly 202 JD students, 10 MPX students, 12 LLM students, 5 international students, and 14 MSL students. You represent 84 universities across the world, including the University of Saskatchewan in Canada, to Tulane University in Louisiana, to the School of Visual Arts in New York City, and all the way to the University of Copenhagen in Denmark. This year's incoming class is the law school's second majority-minority class in McGeorge history, and second in a row. 51% of you identify as people of color. In addition, 60% of you are women, which I believe is either close to or is the largest percentage of women we've enrolled. Also, just about 40% of our entering J students are the first in their families to attend college, much less law school. Our incoming students represent 9 different countries and speak or sign 29 languages or so, including Armenian, American Sign Language, Cantonese, French, German, Hindi, Italian, Japanese, Mandarin, Spanish, Tagalog, and Ukrainian, among many others. Our incoming students bring a wide range of experience and talents to their legal studies. Students, your classmates include former collegiate and semi-pro athletes in soccer, baseball, tennis, and Frisbee. One of you, and I think some of you know this already, hiked the entire Pacific Coast Trail, a 2,650-mile hike that takes about 5 months. Your peers have worked as Peace Corps volunteers, Girl Scout and Eagle Scout leaders, and have created nonprofit organizations fighting against human trafficking and providing isolation and addiction support. Several of you have worked as educators, including one who tutored orphans in another country. Your classmates include a former winery brand manager and professional content creators, including musicians, including multiple piano players. Look for them to play upstairs in Northwest Hall. And a violinist who studied since the age of 4 under renowned violinists. Many, many of you studied abroad, and a large number of you, I think maybe the largest number of you, are parents. You have worked as legal interns, court clerks, and court watch reporters. One of you was an overnight janitor, one was a notary, and one was a hospital volunteer. One was a counselor, and one was a bereavement art therapist. You have completed marathons, participated in mock trial and moot court competitions, and nearly all of you have served your communities by volunteering. You're cool. I'd like to tell you a very short story. So one day, a young man's father had just passed away, and his mother had passed away about a month before that. And he was walking around the home after the funeral, just sort of reflecting on his parents and how much he loved them and how much he missed them, and just thinking about his parents and feeling them in their home. And then for some reason, he walked over and looked at a picture of them. Don't know why. And then he looked more closely, and then for some reason he felt compelled to turn the picture around. And he looked what his mother had written on the back of the picture. She had written, "On this day, we were infinite." Folks, on this day, you are infinite. You are here because, as the judge said, you are wonderful. And we expect great things from you, and we are so honored that you chose McGeorge and decided to join our community. I'm going to ask my colleagues to join me in applauding you. So I do have a very special thank you. Though she is not in the room at the moment. Oh, she is now. She made it. Oh, I'm so glad. I'm sure you realize that she has had her fingers on every aspect of your orientation imaginable, because you've seen her constantly, every single moment. Really a dazzling effort by Director Selena Farnese, our Director of Academic and Student Affairs, and I'm going to ask you to join me in thanking her for her work. I told her this week that I thought this was probably our best orientation ever, and you played a role too. But how much I appreciated her effort. And I also want to thank and ask to just quickly stand the members of the First Week in Orientation Planning Committee. Okay, this would not be a formal legal event without great attention to procedures. Students, please plan to stay in place so our photographer may take a group photo with you and our judge, Judge Callahan. Afterwards, everyone is invited to a reception on the quad to get better acquainted with fellow classmates, to introduce yourself to Judge Callahan. She will like that. And my faculty colleagues. So thank you all, and we're thrilled to have you here.
Okay, here we go.